Just explain to me one point that I could not well understand. That's on the 30th of April 2013. On a version that the door was now assembled when you arrived. You spoke about loose panels or floating panels or whatever. What was the situation then?
My lady, as I said earlier, the panels of the door was not kept in place at that stage by this little piece that I'm indicating here now. The panels were kept in place with sellotape, so they were not as sturdy as what they are now.
So they were more loose.
They were more loose, my lady.
And then I incorrectly said to you, with reference to YouTube, it was the UK, it was the US. And I want to give you the number if you can write it down. And it may be very important, maybe for you to come back later, maybe. If I may ask you to watch this. And that is 9, capital B, capital M.
M for Mike.
For Mike. I'll try to follow that language. It's 9, Bravo, Mike, Mike, Echo, Yankee, Mike, 7, Juliet, Romeo.
7, Juliet, Romeo.
Romeo, 0.
Can you just repeat that, or can I repeat it for you? It's 9, Bravo, Mike, Mike, Echo, Yankee, Mike, 7, Juliet, Romeo, 0, Oscar.
I just want to make sure about the 0, if you would bear with me. Or to just bear with me, my handwriting. It's not a good day. It is a 0, in fact. Would you care to look at it, and we'll make contact at some appropriate time?
That's fine, my lady.
Your evidence may be then necessary.
I'll make a point of that.
Thank you, my lady. I have no further questions to this witness.
Thank you very much. Yes, Mr. Nell.
As a good pleases, my lady. Colonel, if one look at the door, and we're talking about missing pieces, let me start from and say that I will deal with 9 different issues. Start with the 1, and those are the pieces of the door. If one look at the door, above the marks, the piece is missing a rather millimeters of wood that's missing.
Are you talking above these marks?
Yes, above these marks.
Yeah, there's not much missing from the door.
Would that have impacted on your findings above the marks?
My lady, no, not really, because there was no clear indication that anything serious happened up there. And that's probably one of the reasons why it was not that important for me to do extra effort to find those pieces.
If a bat hit anywhere above the mark, you would have expected it on the wood that one can see, marks on the wood that one can see, am I right?
If I understand your question correctly, my lady, if a bat was used on the door, there would be, well, you suspected there would be other indentations visible on the door, yes, my lady.
On what you can see there now?
No, not that I can see now. No.
You can't see it now, but you would have expected it on the wood.
Yeah, my lady.
Then, below the mark, the piece is missing.
Below which mark?
Below the mark that you described to court.
Below this mark?
Yeah, below this mark.
Yeah, there are pieces missing there, my lady.
Okay, you're right when you said that the accused is taller than you. For you to hit below the mark, the position would have been more unnatural.
That's correct, my lady.
You indicated to court that to hit, we yesterday numbered it mark 2. To hit the bat at the second mark, mark 2, was unnatural for you. To go lower than that, would that be more unnatural?
That would have been more unnatural to me, my lady.
Is there any damage to the door handle that you could see?
I could pick up no damage to the door handle, my lady.
Let's deal with the demonstrations or replication of what happened. The angle that you established during the tests you've done in the demonstrations that Mr. Roux asked you to do yesterday, do you still stand by that must have been the angle?
I still stand by I still have the view that the angle that I demonstrated to the court yesterday, my lady, was the angle at which the bat came to a standstill within the door.
That's now Mark 2.
That's Mark 2, my lady.
The angle on Mark 1?
That is still my view that the bat was at that specific angle as I indicated yesterday, my lady.
And one can see the angle visually the best at photograph 480.
480. That's correct, my lady.
That was the angle that the bat was in when it hit the door.
That's correct, my lady. That is the only angle the bat.
I'm sorry, my lady. I think it's very wrong to put to a witness and that was the angle that the bat was in. It's simply an opinion expressed. Not that was the angle the bat was in. That was his view of the angle, not the real position.
Lady, I thought that was understood that if I do re-examination, that it's his opinion.
No,
but I'll be so
please
careful.
rephrase.
I'll be very careful. Everything I'm asking you is about your view from now and your opinion. Okay. Now, is it your opinion that that was the angle of the bat when it hit the door?
My lady, that is according to my observations, that is the only way the bat could have been in that position when it hit the door at that point.
And that the handle of the bat must have been, again, on your opinion, on what you observed, in the position that one can see at photograph 480.
That's correct, my lady.
Can I just ask you, is that the angle of the bat when it hit the door?
That's the angle of the bat when it hit the door, my lady.
You wanted to describe a new mark you found on the bat. You now have Exhibit 1 with you, is that correct, the bat?
That's correct, my lady.
Please carry on.
My lady, on this side of the bat, and as it's indicated there, it's the side of the bat that actually made contact with the door. There's a distinct red mark on the side of the bat.
What is it? How does that help you?
This probably was caused due to the bat hitting the door, and some material from the door got rubbed off on the bat, similar to what we see here on the face of the bat on the other marks.
Does that support your version, or is it against your version, the mark?
That further confirms my version, my lady, because if we hold the bat in the position against the door like this, this is exactly the same line as the edge of the frame, and I'm talking about this edge going down there. So this support my view that the bat was at that specific angle when it hit the door.
Okay, can I just have a look at that?
Indeed, Lady, I'll just ask to be handed up.
My lady, I request you to look at the marks.
That's exactly why I went to look.
Yeah, the marks here in front, which is the initial marks in my first version, as well as the red colored mark on the side there.
Just hold it for me. Thank you.
Then, Colonel, I'm going to ask you one or two questions about the natural and unnatural position. You just keep that in your mind. The angle of the first shot and the angle of the bat in the second shot, were they similar or not?
They were similar, my lady.
So, if there was an unnatural position, it would have been similar or not?
That's correct, my lady.
Now, the wedging in your evidence, at what angle was that?
The wedging was at the same angle as when the bat went through the door. And that can be proven by the indentations on the back side as well as the marks on the front side of the bat.
So, on your evidence and your demonstration yesterday, the wedging would have happened also in an unnatural position as far as you're concerned?
If the accused had his prosthesis on, my lady.
Okay. Then, even on what was put to you yesterday by Mr. Roop, taking up an unnatural position, can you cause those two marks in the angles that you indicate the bat was standing at the exact same spot?
No, my lady. It's not possible to cause those two marks standing at the exact same spot.
Now, Colonel, I took a specific note of an answer you gave to Advocate Roop pertaining to what happened first, the shots or the bat. You said the bullet hole was there before the panel was broken.
That's correct, my lady.
Can you say scientifically, if we take the first mark, if that was caused before the shots were fired?
My lady, scientifically, I would not think that it would be possible to say whether that small mark, if I'm correct now, if you're referring to the small mark there on the side, I would not be able to say that was there before the shots were fired. No.
Then there was a long debate this morning about the kicking. Okay, do you know if the kicking happened before or after the shots? If it's a kick, that mark.
That would also be very difficult to say, and I doubt if one would be able to say the kicking happened before or after the shots.
Because Mr. Roop put to you a version and said at a stage that the only reason why the accused would have kicked the door was to open it. Remember that? To get it open because it was locked.
To break it open, yes.
Yeah. Could there be other reasons?
No, I guess if we say other reasons, it might.
No, let's speculate. You were asked to speculate. Could it be to scare someone? Is that possible?
That's possible. If we speculate, it's possible.
Okay. Just to make a noise, that's possible.
For whatever reason, yes.
Okay. Now, Then, yesterday you were shown photographs that were taken on the 30th of September.
My lady, maybe if I can lead my prosecutor here. On that matter, if we speculate, we can also not prove that that mark was caused during the unfortunate incident. It could have been a mark that could have been on the door previously as well, if you want to speculate now.
Yeah.
So there's no evidence that that mark, there's no timeline for that mark, except for Mr. Pistorius' version.
Whilst we're dealing with that mark, let's finalize it. I'll mark it here. You wanted to know when the sample was taken that was shown to you.
Yes.
Why would that be important to you?
Because I have no recollection of Mr. Dixon taking a sample of the prosthetic legs while they were in my custody.
Okay. Now, you were shown a photograph of the investigation you and Mr. Mangena did on the 30th of April.
That's correct, my lady.
And you saw pieces of wood lying in the back.
On the photograph, I saw pieces of wood, my lady.
That's it. And you said on the photograph, do you have any independent recollection having seen that on the specific day?
My lady, as I stated yesterday, on that day I did not notice those pieces between the shelves there while I was busy doing my investigation.
Then, photograph 484E. That is you standing upright,
That's correct, my lady.
eating the door. Or putting it back to
Pointing the bat to the door, my lady.
But that angle, is that the angle that the bat was in when it made contact with the door?
No, my lady, that was not the angle the bat was in when it made contact with the door, and that is confirmed with, firstly, the physical match of the door through of the bat through the door, and secondly, looking at the indentations on the bat, on the back side of the bat, as well as the marks on the front side of the bat.
What did you want to portray with that specific photo, 484? What did you want to show?
With that photograph, I just wanted to indicate the angle of the bat when I was standing up in relation to the door, my lady.
Now, for you to establish at what angle the bat hit the door, was a microscopic investigation necessary?
My lady, as I stated earlier in my cross-examination, I did a macroscopic investigation on the door because it's huge marks, big marks. There was no need for microscopic investigations to determine the angle of the bat.
You could fit the bat into the marks and come to a conclusion that way.
That's correct, my lady.
Then photograph 120. But we have it in our album whilst we're trying to get it on the screen. Can you follow it? Just by looking at the photograph in your album?
The file, yes, my lady.
Now, in photograph 120, we've already identified the larger piece of wood there as the panel closest to the handle of the...
Is that panel with a...
Now, the piece of wood lying on the left-hand side of that photograph. Do you
Yes,
see
my
that?
lady. I see it, my lady.
Now, where would that fit into the door?
My lady, it looks like if it's possible that it's this little piece down here.
Because it's got a characteristic
Yeah,
of what you can see at the door.
yeah, my lady.
It forms a border between the inside panel and the outside panel.
Yeah, and if I look at the specific market, and I know this piece of wood, there's a area here where it's narrower than the rest of the I'll have to look closely, my lady, but I think it's that piece of
You're welcome to, with the leave of the court, you're welcome to have a close inspection.
My lady, on the back of the door, opposite this end, there's also a missing piece with the same profile. But it's very difficult from the picture to say whether it is this one or the one in the back. But it looks like it came either from, it's either this one or the piece on the back which is missing.
But it's from the border
It's from the border, my lady.
of the panel. Thank you, my lady. I have no further re-examination.
Thank you very much. Colonel, thank you very much for your assistance. You may be excused.
Thank you, my lady.
May court, please, the court, my lady. I will call the next witness. I ever need 15 minutes to do arrangements within the court. It has to do with media and photographs and so forth. The witness is here. I'm calling Colonel van Rensburg. There will be graphic images portrayed. I just have to take make one or two arrangements. May I ask kindly that we adjourn for 15 minutes?
15 minutes. I think we'll go back to chambers.
Indeed, your call.
Yes, when you're ready, you just let us know.
Oscar Pistorius' trial is adjourned shortly. We'll be back a little bit later with some more live footage. Right now, welcome back to AM News right here on Channel 404. My name is Elvis Preslin, and with me is our sports presenter, Kendall Makamate. We'll bring you a little bit of sports news a little bit later. What's coming up, Kendall?
Absolutely. We're going to be looking at Kevin Anderson and what he did to Stanislav Wawrinka in Indian Wells at the BNP Paribas Open, as well as a little bit about the PSL news from last night's games.
Well, that's all coming up. So, welcome back right here on AM News. We'll take a short break and we'll be right back.
It is the court, my lady. We will now deal with the next witness will deal with the scene of crime. We have taken out of the presentation that would be screened all images depicting the body of the deceased.
Yes.
We have spoken to the media people involved. They will indicate that graphic images may follow from now on, and they will view sensitive viewers or viewers not to expose sensitive people to
Yes.
what will be coming.
Thank you. May the witness be sworn in, please.
Uw volle naam, meneer?
Gilliam Skoombi van Rensburg.
Gillian Skoombi van Rensburg, my lady. Het u beswaar, meneer, om die voorgeskrewe eed te neem?
Nee,
Beskou u die eed as bindend op u gewete?
ja,
Sweer u dat die getuienis wat u sal aflê, sal die waarheid wees, die hele waarheid en niks as die waarheid nie? As dit so is, lig die regterhand en sê so help me God.
so help my God.
Sworn in, my lady.
Yes. It's witness number.
11, my lady.
Thank you very much. Thank you. You may proceed.
Sir, you were a colonel in the South African Police Service in February 2013. Am I correct?
Dit is reg.
That is correct.
You have, in the meantime, resigned from the police.
Dit is reg.
When was that?
Wanneer was dit?
Dit was die 10de Desember 2013.
On the 10th of December 2013.
You've had 29 years service in the South Africa Police Service. Is that correct?
Op die dag van die incident was dit 29, dis korrek.
At the
On
time
the-
of the scene.
On the day of the incident, it was 29. That's correct.
In February 2013, you were the station commissioner of Boskop Police Station.
Dit is reg, eerlik.
That is correct, my lady.
Silverwood's estate, where this incident happened, fell within the jurisdiction of Boskop at the time. Is that correct?
Dit is reg, eerlik.
That is correct, my lady.
Now, on the evening of 13 to 14 February, you were on duty, but at a different scene of crime.
Dit is reg, eerlik.
That is correct, my lady.
Just indicate to court where you were.
Hier op daai stadium het ons 'n gewapende roofsaak gehanteer en
At that stage, we were handling an armed robbery case
het Mooi Kloof Rif Estate.
at Mooikloof Reef Estate.
And Colonel, you were there with who else?
Ons het 'n span wat eintlik al ons gewapende rowe en moordsake hanteer. En hulle was teenwoordig.
We were together with a team which handles armed robbery and murder cases, and we were together there.
Yes, and
Na die saak afgehandel is, daar was nog lede van die span op die toneel gewees toe ek onttrek het.
After the case had been handled, there was other members of the team which were left on the scene after I had left.
Eerder ek was terug na die polisiestasie toe, onder andere die mediese register te kry, want die een verdagte was op pad afgevoer na die hospitaal toe.
I then went back to the station so that I can get hold of some medical registers, so that een van die
verdagtes.
because one of the suspects had been transported to the hospital.
Ook as om dieselfde tyd en dan 'n inskrywing te maak rondom die gewapende roof en te sien en ook 'n besoek te doen by die stasie.
And also to make an entry regarding that armed robbery, and also to visit the station.
Om ongeveer dit was die 14e, ongeveer half 4, 13:30. Ag, 3:30, ekskuus tog, 3:30.
that's
die oggend.
in the vroege oggendure van die 14th.
Oggendure, vroeg oggend 3:30.
In the early morning hours of the 14th.
So the early hours of the 14th at around 3:30,
Terwyl ek by die stasie was,
whilst I was at the station,
'n klagte het ingekom van 'n skietery.
a complaint then came in about a shooting.
Hier op daai stadium was die een voertuig, soos ek reeds gesê het, besig om die een verdagte af te voer na die hospitaal toe.
As I've already indicated, one of the motor vehicles had spotted one of the suspects to the hospital.
Die ander klagtevoertuig het nog steeds op die toneel gestaan, sowel as van die spanlede wat die roof ondersoek het.
The other motor vehicle was still on the scene together with the other team members.
Omrede ek die naaste voertuig was en nou nie op daai stadium enig ander voertuig vinnig by die toneel sou uitkom nie, het ek een van die lede van die aanklagkantoor, konstabel Prinsloo, gevra.
Because I was the nearest motor vehicle to the scene, then I had to ask one of the members at the charge office, Constable Prinsloo,
om my te vergesel na die toneel toe.
so that he accompanies me to the scene.
Die adres wat ons gehad was Silverwood Country Estates 286 Silver Lakes Road.
The address that we had was Silverwood Country Estate, 286
Silver Lakes Road.
Silver Lakes Road.
Konstabel Prinsloo het bevestig, want ek het gevra of sy wel weet waar die adres is.
I confirmed with Constable Prinsloo whether he knows where the specific address was.
En sy het erken dat sy weet die adres is en sy het my vergesel na die toneel.
Constable Prinsloo confirmed that he knows where the address is and he duly accompanied me to the address.
Ons het ongeveer 3:15, 3:45. Min of meer, kan 'n paar minute vroeër later wees, het ons op die toneel gearriveer.
At around 3:55, we then arrived at the scene.
Met die aankoms op die toneel, het daar 'n ambulans met sy deure agterdeure oop aan die regterkant van die pad gestaan, reg voor die huis.
On our arrival there was an ambulance which had its rear doors open on the right-hand side of the road, stationary.
In die oprit wat aan die regterkant was daar 'n swartkleurige Mini Cooper en sowel as 'n wit BMW geparkeer.
On the off-ramp, which was towards the right, there was a blackish Mini Cooper
En 'n white BMW.
and a white BMW.
Yes.
Goed, ek het in beweeg na die huis, daar 'n sekuriteitswagter buitekant gestaan. By die ambulans, net regs van die ambulans. Ek het deur hulle beweeg na die huis toe.
I approached the house. There were security officers which were there, and on the side of the ambulance, I went through the security point where the security officers was, towards the house.
Sodra ek binne die huis ingegaan het, so oomblik toe ek binne die huis ingegaan het, aan my linkerkant, aan die onderkant van die trappe.
After I had gone through into the house, on the left-hand side of the stairs, inside,
het persoon, 'n liggaam wat toegemaak is met handdoeke. Daar was verskillende kleure handdoeke geweest, maar daar was ook swart sakke by haar kop geweest, gelê. Daar was ook bloed sigbaar by die liggaam.
there was a body lying down which was covered with hand clothing, and there was also a blood which could be seen there as where the body was laying.
Met die inkoms in die portaal van die huis, het 'n paramedic, vroue paramedic my genade.
As I got into the portal of the house, that's when a lady paramedic approached me.
Sy het my meegedeel dat die persoon, die liggaam wat daar gelê het, reeds oorlede was met hulle aankoms.
She then informed me that the body of the person which was laying there, or she told me that the person had died on arrival, on their arrival.
Die paramedic het vir my, ek en sy het tesame die handdoeke en die ander, meestal was my handdoeke gewees het wat die liggaam bedek het verwyder.
The paramedic and I then removed the clothing, most of them hand clothings removed from the body, which were covering the body.
Just open that file in front of you at Exhibit E.
If I may, it's not too serious, but the one translation was that he died upon, it was dead upon arrival.
Dead.
That's in fact the correct translation.
Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you.
And towels and black bags, not hand clothing.
Pardon?
Towels and black bags, not hand clothing, found.
Towels
And black bags.
black bags. That's the correct
And not hand
translation. Thank you. Thank you.
Do you have that album with you? Did you open it at 12?
Ek het dit hier.
It's Exhibit E, my lady.
Yes, yes, yes.
12. Does that look familiar?
Dit is die liggaam soos ek dit aangetref het hier.
That is the body as I found it.
So you said that you and the paramedic had a look at the body. Have you established any injuries?
Paramediese beampte het hom uitgewys eerder. Daar was 'n kopwond.
The paramedic showed to me that there was a head wound.
Daar was 'n wond aan die regtersy van die oorlede.
There was a wound on the right-hand side of the waist.
Daar was 'n wond aan die regterarm net bokant die elmboog.
There was a wound on the right arm just above the elbow.
En dan aan die linkerhand die middelvinger. As ek reg kan onthou, die middel tussen die middelvinger en die wysvinger was daar ook 'n wond.
And also on the left arm, on the left hand, there was also a wound between the middle finger and the pointing finger.
Yes.
Dit was al, ek het op daai stadium het ons nie die liggaam omgedraai nie. Die liggaam het net so bly lê.
As it is in photograph 12.
Dis net soos op fotograaf.
At that stage, the body was just as it was on the photograph. It had not been turned over.
Anybody else in the house at the time?
Nadat ek dit gedoen het, ek het inbeweeg in die kombuis in. Dit is die kombuis is aan die linkerkant, net na die, as 'n mens kan amper sê, as 'n mens kyk op die foto van foto 12 van die linkerkant, die opening aan die linkerkant hier.
After that, I just moved into the house, towards into the kitchen, and to the opening which was on the left-hand side, as you would see on the photograph.
In die kombuisgedeelte het die beskuldigde 'n blanke wit man, later te bekend aan my as Oscar Pistorius, gestaan.
In the kitchen, there stood the accused, a white male, who was later known to me as Oscar Pistorius.
Hy was baie emosioneel op daardie stadium. Ek het hom gevra wat gebeur het.
He was emotional at that stage, and then I asked him as to what happened.
I don't want to interfere all the time, but it actually was very emotional, not emotional.
Very. Yes. Thank you.
Yes. So you asked him, and
I asked him what happened, but He didn't answer me. He
Did
was
you-
in tears, and as I said, he was emotional.
Did you introduce yourself?
I identify myself as Lieutenant Colonel van Rensburg from Boskop Police Station, and as I was in civilian clothing at that stage, I felt it very necessary that they know that I was a policeman. And even though that I was in civilian clothes, Constable Prinsloo was dressed in uniform, full uniform.
Was Constable Prinsloo with you?
Ja, Constable Prinsloo was saam met my daar staan.
Yes, Constable Prinsloo was together with me.
So you said that you asked the accused what happened. He was in tears. He did not answer you.
Dis reg, Eddie.
That is correct, my lady.
What did you do then?
Ek het onmiddellik seker gemaak eintlik wat eers gebeur, ek kontak die nodige persone, soos in hierdie geval die RGL, Regsgeneeskundige Laboratorium, personeel, die deskundiges, die fotograwe. Omdat dit 'n moordtoneel is, ook dan dadelik begin om forensies te kontak. Die plaaslike vingerafdrukkantoor vir
Okay.
sorry.
I immediately contacted the medical officers, the fingerprints,
Fingerprint, the photographer,
fingerprints and photographers
forensics,
and forensics officers
And the mortuary.
and the mortuary.
and the mortuary.
Nou, eerder wanneer ek sê kontak, ek as offisier gee ek opdrag en iemand anders te voer dit uit. Ek het hulle nie fisies self gewerk.
When I meant contact, I did not physically contact them. I just gave out the order.
Anybody else in the house at that time?
Op daai stadium was daar ook 'n blanke dame.
At that stage, there was also a white lady,
Ook later bekend aan my as Clarice Staner.
later known to me as Clarice Stander,
Wat op die toneel was.
who was on the scene.
What was she doing on the scene when you arrived there?
Sy was sy het op daai stadium eerder met die beskuldigde gestaan en gesels, getroos, weer teruggekom, en nadat sy gesien het dat die paramedic klaar is, en hy het sy na my toe gekom.
She was at that stage standing with the accused, talking with the accused, and when she saw me with the paramedics, then she approached me, or she came to me.
Comforting him. She was
Consoling him.
comforting him and consoling
Consoling
him.
him.
And did you yourself engage with Mr. Pistorius again then?
Op daai stadium, toe sy na my toe gekom het, ek nie weer na meneer Pistorius toe gegaan. Sy het my dadelik sy het my toe meegedeel dat want ek het gestaan en kyk na die swart plastiek sakke. Want dit is my half snaaks gelyk, swart plastiek sakke by die lijk. Wat hoorde daar? En sy het aan my genoem dat sy en haar vader, haar pa meneer Johan Staner, gekontak is deur meneer Pistorius.
She then came to me, and then I went to see about these plastic bags that were there. I was concerned about those plastic bags, and then she mentioned, what's she say?
Dat meneer Pistorius, Mr. Pistorius contacted her and her father, and that they need their assistance.
And that she contacted Mr. Pistorius and her father, that they need their assistance.
Yes, and then so?
Toe hulle op die toneel gekom het,
When they arrived on the scene,
was meneer Pistorius besig om die oorledene met die trappe af te dra.
Mr. Pistorius was busy taking down the deceased down the stairs.
bringing me on the stairs.
carrying down the stairs.
And but she told you this.
Dit het sy het my dit meegedeel.
That is what she informed me.
Yes, and then
Hy het meneer Pistorius het meneer Stander gevra om sy voertuig te vat en die oorledene na hospitaal toe te neem.
and that's
Mr.
what
Pistorius
she told you.
That's what she told.
asked Mr. Stander to take his car so that he can transport the deceased to the hospital. That's what she told me.
Yes.
Meneer Stander het gesê hy gaan haar nie vat nie.
Mr. Stander said he was not going to take her,
Dat hulle eerder ambulans sal kry en dat mediese personeel
that they would rather get an ambulance and medical people,
wat aandag aan haar sou moes gee.
which would give her assistance.
And then after this discussion, what happened?
Okay, eerder na dit het sy oor my ook meegedeel dat sy het gegaan en sy het die plastiek sakke, die swart sakke, self gaan uithaal om te probeer om bloeding te stop. Sy het ja, bloeding.
She then informed me that she's the one who went to get the plastic bags to try and stop the bleeding.
Sy het ook gevra om nog iets te kry aan die beskuldigde dat om die bloeding te stop, waarop ek kan nie onthou of sy gesê het sy het opgegaan en of meneer Pistorius opgegaan het nie na die eerste vloer.
She also asked Mr. Pistorius, as she told me, to get something else also to stop the bleeding. I'm not sure whether she said she went herself or Mr. Pistorius went on his own
To the first floor.
To
to the first floor.
Yes.
Waar daar nog handdoeke gehaal gewees het om te help om bloeding te stop.
Where they had gone to fetch extra towels so that they could stop the bleeding.
En sy en meneer Pistorius het saam probeer om die bloeding van die lede te stop.
She and Mr. Pistorius together, they tried to stop the bleeding.
Okay.
Volgens mevrou Stander het meneer Stander, haar vader, die paramedics gebel.
According to Mrs. Stander, that's when Mr. Stander, the father, then called the paramedics.
Sy het ook aan my verduidelik rondom dit, het sy vir my gesê, meneer Pistorius het aan hulle gesê, toe hulle op die toneel kom,
She also further explained to me that when they arrived on the scene, Mr. Pistorius said to them
dat hy gedink het, die oorledene is 'n inbreker.
that he thought that the deceased was an intruder,
En dat hy haar geskiet het.
and that he shot her.
And during this discussion with Ms. Stander, where was the accused?
Die edele die verdagte, die beskuldigde het nog steeds in die kombuis gestaan.
My lady, the accused, was still standing in the kitchen.
Yes, and then?
Hy het op 'n stadium met daar's 'n eiland in die kombuis, 'n kas in die middel van die kombuis, en dan langs die kante is daar ook kaste.
There is an island in the kitchen where the units are, and also on the sides there are also units.
Hy het op en af beweeg in die gedeelte waar ek vir hom gevra het asseblief dat hy agter die eiland gedeelte teen na die buiten se kant toe, die opwasbak.
He was moving
Die eerste moet staan.
up and down there, whereupon I requested him that he should stand on the other side of the island.
na die wasbak, die basin.
next to the basin.
And what did he do when you asked him?
Hy het omgedraai en hy het beweeg na die area toe wat ek vir hom aangedui het.
He turned about and then proceeded to this area where I indicated to him.
Op daai stadium was dit nou vir my onseker waar die toneel regtig was, of ek nou in die toneel waar die skietery plaasgevind het en of dit op 'n ander plek was.
At that stage, I was unsure of the incident, where the incident could have taken place. Was I there at the incident where it could have taken place, or the incident took place in another area?
Met die feit dat hulle die stelling gemaak is dat die meneer Pistorius die oorledene met die trappe afgedra het ek aangeneem dat 'n ander gedeelte van die toneel dan ook dan nou bo sou wees.
With the fact that I was told that Mr. Pistorius had taken or carried the deceased down the stairs. Je hebt gedenkt?
Sorry?
Je hebt gedenkt wat?
Dat die ander gedeelte on top on the next floor.
And then at that stage I thought that the other areas were on top.
On the first floor?
On the first floor of hoeveel vloere er ook.
The first floor, or depending on how many floors were there.
Yes.
Ek het onmiddellik konstabel Prinsloo opdrag gegee om die area te beveilig en seker te maak niemand kom in of niemand gaan uit sonder dat sy beheer daaroor het.
I then informed or ordered Constable Prinsloo to make the place safe and make sure that no one comes in and no one comes out without him being in control of it.
Op daai stadium het adjutant-offisier Hilton Botha.
At that stage, a warrant officer Hilton Botha
op die toneel gearriveer.
Arrived on the scene.
Why did he come to the scene?
Eerlik, hy was op daardie stadium, nie op daai stadium, op daai stadium, was hy my mees experience, ervare, kundige speler en wat juis moord en roofsaak ondersoek. Ons het hom nie gebruik by die vorige toneel nie.
At that stage he was the more experienced
and knowledgeable and
more experienced and knowledgeable investigative officer who had wat gebeur het in die vorige.
Ja, hy was nie betrokke by die roof. Hy was nie teenwoordig by die vorige.
Involved or present in the previous scene.
Die hele span wat betrokke was by die vorige nie betrokke is, die ondersoek hanteer het by die vorige rooftoneel. Ons was om daai stadium al reeds al 24 uur aan diens.
Of all the officers who were present in the previous armed robbery scene, we are about 24 who have already been on
24
duty.
hours on duty.
We had 24 hours on duty.
We were for about 24 hours on duty.
Yes.
Buiten, ek het vroeër 'n melding gemaak eerder dat ons die kundiges gekontak het. Ek persoonlik het vir adjutant-offisier Botha gebel.
I had earlier mentioned that we made contact with the mortuary, and I made personal contact with Botha.
Ja.
With Officer Botha.
Yes.
Goed.
So he arrived at the scene.
So he arrived at this. Yes, he arrived at the scene. Worship. Ek het hom weer eens die liggaam aan hom uitgewys.
I again showed the body to him.
En waarop ek en hy saam die bloedspoor opgevolg het met die trappe.
Together we then followed the trail of blood up at the stairs.
Let us just deal with that. The album you have in front of you, it's Exhibit F. Open it up at the first photograph. That's photograph number 2. Exhibit E. Lady. Exhibit E. Yeah, the one you have in front of you. At the first photograph, I got you all confused, sorry.
What number?
First photograph, it's marked 2 in the right hand corner. What is that?
Eerder, dit is die ingang na die woning.
This is the entrance to the residence.
That's where you went in, through that door.
Dis die deur wat ons ingegaan het hier aan die voorkant waar dit so 'n bietjie donker is daar so 'n dammetjie. By weerskante van die paadjie is daar 'n visdam.
This is where we gained entry on the front part, and there is also a little pond there.
A fish
on the
pond.
front.
And then photograph number 3. What is that? What is that?
Dis as jy in die deur ingekom het eerder, die portaal, ons kan maar sê die portaal wys na die regterkant. Die deure wys na die regterkant. Die ou deur wat jy sien daar, dis die deur wat ingaan na die motorhuis, die eerste motorhuis.
As you enter through into the portal. As you see, the wooden door that you can see there, it's to go through into the garage.
So if you enter through the main door and you look to your right, you'll see the garage door.
Dis die ou deur wat jy dan sou sien.
Yes, that is the wooden door that you see there.
Photograph number 4.
Links van die ou deur is 'n klein sitkamertjie.
On the left-hand side of the wooden door, it's a small sitting room.
So one can see it on photograph 3, just left of the door. This is just a close-up of that area. Is that correct?
Dis reg.
That is correct, my lady.
And those are stairs going up to the next floor.
Dit is die trappe wat opgaan boontoe hier.
These are the stairs which goes up, yes.
So the area one can see there, where there are chairs and tables. On photograph 5, that is a close-up of what one will find in that area.
Dit is reg.
What paragraph 5?
Photo 5?
Photograph 5.
Yes, madam. I apologize
Yes.
if I said paragraph. I wanted to say photo. Photo 5. And on photograph 6, it's one of the chairs in that specific area, am I correct?
Dit is reg.
That is correct, my lady.
Is there anything significant on that photograph?
Op die fotograaf is daar 2 kolletjies eerder en dit is bloed wat ons ook op die toneel gevind het.
On the photograph are 2 spots there, and that would be of blood
On the chair.
Aan die chair.
of the stool, on the chair.
That's now indicated with a circle. Am I right?
Soos
Dis
daar
reg.
staan in die
Dis
cel.
reg.
That is correct, my lady.
This is another chair in that specific area on photograph 7.
Dit is reg eerder, die stoel wat aan die linkerkant van daai vorige stoel staan.
Yes, that is correct. This chair was on the left-hand side of the other chair that was shown previously.
Again, one can see drops of blood.
Daar was 'n verskeidenheid van bloedspatsels en daar was ook bloedspatsels as jy kan sien aan die waar die mat begin. Was ook bloedspatsels op die teels.
On the tiles, where the circle is now.
Ja.
That is correct. There were several blood spots, as you can see also there on the tiles.
And on the chair as well, those spots one can see there.
That's correct.
That is correct.
Photograph 8 is just a close-up of the... Photograph 8 is just a close-up of the blood that one can see on the chair, am I correct?
Dit is reg, Heer.
That is correct, my lady.
That also pertains to photograph number 9.
Dit is reg, Heer.
That is correct, my lady.
And we dealt with photograph 10. Those were blood spots on the tile floor.
Dit is reg. Dis ek voorheen uit gewees.
That is correct, my lady.
Photograph 11. What is that?
Eerder, dis die begin van die trappe. Aan die onderkant, die liggaam van die oorledene het net links gelê van waar hierdie foto dan nog begin aan die linkerkant. Wat opgaan na die volgende vloer.
That is the bottom part of the stairs. The body of the deceased lay on the left-hand side of those stairs, as on the photograph.
And that would be more clear on photograph 12. Won't be on the street.
Ja, okay. Dit is die...
And photograph 12 you've already dealt with.
Dealt with.
Now, photograph 13.
Dit is die pilaar, aan die onderkant van die pilaar het die oorledene gelê.
That is the pillar, and just below that pillar, this is where the deceased was laying.
We will follow the numbers of the album. Now, lady, because we deleted some photographs, the numbers on the screens have changed. I will make sure that the photographs that we have in the album, that we follow those numbers, and that it's also depicted on the screens if we get there. Now, if we just go back to 12. The pillar you're talking about, is that the one just left of the deceased? Said.
Dit is reg. Daar waar die moes ek sê die swart-witterige materiaal lê. Dus as 'n mens kyk aan die onderkant van hom, as 'n mens fyn kyk, dit is waar die spatsels was.
You can see it there on that photograph 12 as well.
Dis reg.
That is correct, my lady.
And that is also depicted at photograph 13.
Ja, dit is 'n nader skoot van.
It is a closer shot.
14.
Dit is dis die begin van die trappe, die eerste stel trappe op na die volgende vloer toe.
This is the beginning of the stairs, the first set of stairs going up.
And the spots one can see there on the photograph?
Dit is die deel van die bloedspoor wat ons gevolg het.
This is part of the blood trail that we were following.
15.
Ekskuus tog eerlik, ek wil net graag daar's as jy ingaan by die portaal. Ek weet nie of 'n foto hier is nie. As jy ingaan die portaal, was daar ook spatsels gewees by die ingang. Toe ons die toneel begin het ons daar begin, want ons het gereken hy kan ook miskien na daai houdeur toe was. Maar daar was nie verder spatsels.
As you enter into the portal, there was also blood stains there, and we thought that it could have also gone towards the wooden door, but
daar was geen ander bloed die kant toe gewees.
There wasn't any blood spots there.
Now, if you open it, photograph 3.
Ja, bladsy, ja, paragraaf photo 3. You will see there was blood on the tiles, as well as photo 4. There was also that spots that there was also blood.
Blood spots on the tiles on photo 3 and photo 4.
Yeah.
Is that where the circle is now?
Yeah, that's correct, Eel.
That is correct, my lady.
Good. Then let's return to photo 15. Those are on the stairs going up.
Ja, dis net 'n naderskoot weer eens.
The close-up of the blood.
Dis korrek.
That is correct, my lady. It's a close-up shot.
The same with photo 16.
Dit is korrek. Jy kan sien daar in die regterkantste hoekie. Ek dink is die reëling wat uitsteek.
You can see the railing there on the right-hand corner,
That is correct.
where the
my
circle
lady.
is now.
Ja.
And photograph 17.
Dit is op die trappe as jy daar begin met die begin van die trappe aan die regterkant, die muur as jy nou so opgaan sou dit die muur aan die linkerkant wees. As jy afkom sal dit nou aan die regterkant wees.
See after.
Yeah, if you're coming down, it will be on the right-hand side. But if you're standing, going up with the stairs, this is on the wall on the left-hand side.
This is the wall on the stairs. As you walk up the stairs, it would be on the left-hand side. As you come down the stairs, it would be on the right-hand side.
And what is that?
Eerder, dis ook bloed. Dis deel van die bloedspoor wat ons.
This is also blood, part of the blood trail that we are following.
18.
Dis dieselfde muur eerder. Daar is dis 'n ver foto hier, maar jy kan ook sien daar is ook bloed en daar is dan ook deel van die trappe.
This is the same wall. It is painted here, but you can also see it is also next to the stairs.
Although we're looking at photographs, can you still remember it?
Ek kan dit onthou eerder.
Yes, I can remember, my lady.
19 is just a close-up of the blood spatter.
Dis reg.
That is correct, my lady.
Same with photograph 20.
Dit is reg eerder.
That is correct, my lady.
Turn to 21.
Dit is reg eerder.
That is correct, my lady.
Hierdie foto eerder die trappe gaan op, dan maak hy 'n platform. En dan draai jy weer na regs.
On this photo, my lady, the stairs go up and then they get onto a platform and then they move towards the right.
En die laaste trap wat jy so sien hierso, of die trap wat jy hierso sien, dis net voor jy dan daai
That's the
platform.
beginning of the landing.
Ja, beginning of landing, that is actually.
The last stair that you would see there, it is just before you get to that landing.
And the blood that one can see on the photograph, you remember having seen it there.
Yes, that's good.
That is correct.
Photograph 22.
Julle, dit is die reëling
This is the rail
op die trappe.
on the stairs.
As jy op die platform is, wat ons nou gesê het, die reëling wat dan reguit voor jou is, wat aan die agterkant is die kleinste kamertjie wat ons gekry het toe jy ingekom het in die.
Just as you get onto the landing that we had just mentioned, the rail is just in front of you, where up front there is the small sitting room that we had earlier mentioned.
So if one then turns to photograph 4, that is what you're referring to. The railing, one can see that the furthest end and the sitting area would be just below it.
As 'n mens op die foto kyk, die middel van die foto wys die landing.
If
And
you
then
look at the picture, the middle of the photo shows the landing.
And at the back of this landing, there's a rail there, and that is that rail that I'm referring to.
That's what one can see at photograph 22.
Dis reg.
That is correct, my lady.
Dis net die platform, die landing is.
That is just the landing.
And photograph 23, sir?
23 eerder is weer die muur wat nou aan die bokant van daai sitkamer is wat opgaan na die volgende stel trappe.
This is the wall just on top of that sitting room.
On the left hand side.
On the left-hand side, which moves to the next stairs.
At the bottom of that wall you see there, what is there in the background? What are those?
Dit is bekers en
Trophies.
medaljes en trofees. Dis
Those trophies Where were those?
Those trophies they were standing on a cabinet in that lounge.
Then we get to 24. What is
Ja,
that?
dit is as jy mens nou bo op die trappe opgekom het, die vlak, die eerste vloer. Bereik dan nou die eerste vloer. Dis waar hy nou begin.
This is when you get to the first floor. This is where the floor begins.
You can still remember the blood spatter that one could see.
Weer eens, die bloed was daar gewees, die edele.
There was also blood spot again there.
Jy sal ook sien op hierdie foto reg langs daai ou deur was daar ook bloedspatsels.
You would also notice just towards that wooden door there are also blood spots. I tried to open the door was locked.
Ek het die deur oopgesluit met die sleutel wat daar was, die deur het oopgegaan.
I unlocked the door with the key that was there and the door opened.
Na die deur is dit oop, dis op die motorhuis. Die gedeelte is 'n plat onthaalarea bo op die motorhuis. En aan die linkerkant, as jy net die deur gestap was daar 'n jacuzzi in gewees wat nie meer in gebruik was nie. Jy kon dadelik sien hy is vir 'n ruk lank as hy buitekant gebruik want hy was stikkend en hy het herstelwerk nodig gehad.
As you move in, there is a flat area, relaxing area in that garage, and towards the left there is a jacuzzi which seemed not to be in operation. It seems it needed some repairs.
But you said it's an area on top of the garages.
On top of the garage. Maar sodra jy hierdie deur gaan, daar was geen spatsels geheel en al. So ek het die afleiding gemaak dat die bloedspoor nie die kant toe beweeg nie, hy beweeg terug in die huis. Waarop ek weer die deur toegemaak het en toegesluit het.
Going through into the garage, there weren't any further blood spots where after I took it that the blood spots would not go further than that. They would be towards the inside. And thereafter, I closed the door and locked it.
Now, lady, with the locking of the door, would that perhaps be an opportune time to take the lunch at Jane?
What will it, Jan?
Kan je ook luisteren,